After Red Bull's impressive 1-2 finish in Jeddah, there's rumours going around that Christian Horner might get the boot from Red Bull sooner than we think. German media reports are hinting that the energy drinks company might part ways with Horner before the Australian Grand Prix. Let's see if there's any truth to these claims in today's video, so don't go anywhere. According to reports in the German media, there's a suggestion that Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull Racing, might be let go before the upcoming Australian Grand Prix. Meetings between the key figures of Red Bull GmbH, Oliver Mintzlaff, Franz Watzlawick, and Chalem Uvidia are said to have occurred in Dubai on Sunday. But insiders with reliable information have informed the media that the speculations about Horner being ousted from his position as team principal are deemed as nonsense, rumour-mongering, and idle gossip. Since Christian Horner's investigation by Red Bull GmbH was dismissed almost 2 weeks ago, the ongoing drama surrounding the intra-team dynamics at Red Bull has persisted. Following the Bahrain Grand Prix, Jos Verstappen, father of Max Verstappen, openly called for Horner's removal, suggesting that the team is on the brink of implosion as long as the Englishman leads Red Bull Racing. Shortly after, a Red Bull Racing employee who had raised concerns about Horner to the team's parent company in Austria was suspended. This action came after their evidence failed to withstand scrutiny, leading to its dismissal. According to the BBC, the suspension was based on allegations of dishonesty in the employee's testimony. As Red Bull GmbH conducts an internal investigation into recent events, such as the multiple media leaks regarding alleged information from the inquiry, including an anonymous email containing unverified details sent to numerous senior F1 personnel and media outlets, there's a level of uncertainty. Helmut Marko, a Red Bull GmbH employee and consultant for Red Bull Racing, acknowledged to Austria's ORF that there's a chance he could face suspension before the next race. The situation escalated during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend, marked by heightened tensions. Helmut Marko's departure from the paddock on Thursday was followed by his return on Friday, accompanied by CEO Oliver Mintzlaff. Mintzlaff is the businessman responsible for the Austrian interest in GmbH, holding the 49% minority shareholding. Following meetings among the trio of Red Bull GmbH powerholders, Mintzlaff, Franz Watzlawick and Chalem Uvidia, in Dubai on Sunday, there are indications from reports in German media that Uvidia's stance on Horner may have shifted. As the representative of the Thai majority shareholders in GmbH, holding a 51% majority ownership, Uvidia publicly showed support alongside Horner on the grid before the Bahrain Grand Prix. However, according to reports from F1Insider.com's Ralph Bach, it's now understood that the Thai shareholders are aligning with the Austrian side to part ways with Horner. A crucial point on the meeting's agenda is reportedly discussing Horner's future with the team. According to the reports, Horner appears to be losing the power struggle within Red Bull, raising the possibility of his release before the next race in Australia. When approached for comment, a spokesperson from Red Bull Racing responded to the media by stating, "As Christian has said, he is grateful for the full support of the shareholders and that remains the case." In an interview with Sky F1 following the Saudi Arabian GP, where Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez secured another 1-2 finish, Horner addressed the ongoing situation involving numerous key figures within the racing team and the wider company. Denying the existence of an ongoing power struggle for control, he said, "Obviously a lot is made of this stuff, but we are one team and nobody is bigger than the team. This team comprises across the different entities of over 1,400 people, and everybody has a role to play, and that's from the very bottom to the very top. And without them performing, you don't achieve performances like this." Unfortunately, there's been obviously a lot of speculation this weekend, but once again our focus is very much on track. When questioned about Marko's remarks over the weekend suggesting he might face suspension from the company and Verstappen's subsequent statement that Marko's departure wouldn't bode well for his own future at Red Bull, Horner remained resolute. Well, firstly, Helmut is a consultant to Red Bull GmbH, Red Bull Racing's parent company. So whatever the discussion was between them and not with the team, he explained. Red Bull senior advisor Helmut Marko, who notably departed from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix alongside Max Verstappen rather than Christian Horner, disclosed that he had already considered leaving Red Bull late last year, a departure from his usual routine. Verstappen, advocating for peace within the Red Bull ranks, also cautioned that his and Marko's futures with the team were closely linked. Observers have pointed out that while Verstappen has been unequivocal and firm in publicly backing Marko, the same level of assurance hasn't been evident when questioned about the future of team principal Horner. Meanwhile, Verstappen's father, Jos, has openly advocated for Horner's departure. Despite Horner asserting that his relationship with Marko is not an issue, this assertion appears to be increasingly fragile. A report from De Telegraaf has now added a new dimension to the uncertainty surrounding the situation. According to the publication, there's a departure from the norm regarding Marko's travel routine. Traditionally, Marko would fly home from Grand Prix events alongside Horner, with Marko being dropped off first in Austria. However, during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Marko reportedly flew home with Verstappen instead. Meanwhile, Marko, expressing a desire for the off-track drama at Red Bull to be resolved swiftly, informed the publication that the notion of departing from Red Bull had crossed his mind last year. But he emphasized the importance of showing respect to team founder Dietrich Mateschitz, who passed away in October 2022. Marko revealed, "I was already thinking about leaving at the end of last season, but I think we should also think about team founder Dietrich Mateschitz and his legacy, what his ideas were and where it has taken us. We owe that to him, but I also see it as a kind of respect to an incredibly amazing personality." In the midst of the uncertainty surrounding Red Bull, Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff has been unequivocal about his stance on Verstappen. He expressed a strong desire to recruit the dominant Dutchman as their replacement for Lewis Hamilton, who is set to move to Ferrari in 2025. Marko is confident that should Verstappen ever decide to part ways with Red Bull, opportunities will arise across the grid for him. "What happens when Max is done with it? Then we will discuss that internally," said Marko. "But I'm sure a door will open for him everywhere." Christian Horner, while acknowledging Max Verstappen's commitment to Red Bull, doesn't dismiss the allure of Toto Wolff's desire to have him at Mercedes. Horner stated that while a surprising move can't be entirely ruled out, he also emphasized that he wouldn't compel Verstappen to stay if he chose otherwise. Despite emphasizing a desire to concentrate on on-track matters, highlighted by Verstappen's victories in the opening 2 rounds of F1 2024, it hasn't always been feasible due to the persistent off-track distractions at Red Bull. Verstappen has firmly cemented his status as the leading figure in Formula One, so it's no wonder that amidst the turmoil, Mercedes team boss Wolff is eyeing the situation closely, openly admitting that he would love to have him as the replacement for Lewis Hamilton, who is set to join Ferrari in 2025. Horner acknowledges the appeal of Verstappen to other teams, but he also highlighted Wolff's own statement that the driver will always choose the quickest car, a position that aligns with Red Bull's current performance. Horner shared these thoughts with reporters after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. "I'm sure every team in the paddock would love to have Max. But as Toto also said, the best drivers always want to be in the best cars. But we're a team. Max has achieved his 56th Grand Prix victory today and his 100th podium, all of which have been in Red Bull racing cars. And as a team, we perform exceptionally well together. And everybody has a role to play in that team. Whether it's from the designers, the support staff, the operational staff, all the way through all the different 22 departments that make up Red Bull Racing. If everybody isn't doing their part, you don't have a performance like this. So as a team, we're performing at an exceptionally high level, and we expect to see that continuing." When pressed to provide assurance that there's no risk of Verstappen departing, Horner remained firm that such guarantees couldn't be offered. Despite Verstappen's contract with Red Bull extending until the end of 2028, Horner emphasized that mere contractual agreements wouldn't necessarily keep him with the team if his interest shifted elsewhere. Additionally, he asserted that Red Bull wouldn't resort to coercive measures to retain him. "You can never say never," Horner claimed. "If a driver doesn't want to be somewhere, then they'll go somewhere else. It's like anything in life. You can't force somebody to be somewhere just because of a piece of paper. If somebody didn't want to be at this team, then we're not going to force somebody against their will to be here. And that applies whether it's a machine operator or a designer or somebody in one of the support functions that runs through the business. Being involved in a team like this involves commitment and passion, and Max has that. We've seen that. He's been here since he was 18 years of age, and I have no doubt about his commitment and passion going forward. As a team, I can't see any reason why anybody would want to step out of this team. I think he's got a great support around him, and he's doing a wonderful job with a great car." Doubts have arisen regarding the dynamic between Horner and Verstappen, particularly with Jos Verstappen publicly advocating for Horner's departure, while Max Verstappen hasn't publicly endorsed Horner's continued presence with the same enthusiasm as he has for Marko. Nonetheless, Horner asserted that his relationship with Max is perfectly intact. Horner further emphasized that he's working well within the team. There's no tension, there's no stress. You can see how relaxed he is around the garage with everybody in the team, and that's translating to his performance on track as well. So we don't see any issues with Max. Who's more likely to leave Red Bull first, Christian Horner or Max Verstappen? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.